Why do we let our spending get out of control when we know better? It turns out there's a handful of reasons. It's mostly between the ears. It's mostly psychological. Today I'm going to explain 12 reasons why. It's your brain on money. And overspending is a real issue. It's estimated that between 40% and 80% of purchases are impulse buys. 1/3 of people between age 30 and 49 have more credit card debt than savings. Ouch. And most consumers have no idea how social influences, psychological states, and of course, marketing makes us make daily impulsive and unconscious bad decisions with our money. Let's work on that today and have a little fun while we do so. But I'm not just gonna help you identify problems, I'll help you identify solutions for each as well. So let's dive in and talk about the why behind why it feels so damn good to spend more than we should. What's ahead might hit a little too close to home, but hopefully recognizing some of these behaviors will help you overcome splurge spending. We'll get through it together. By the way, my name is Frankie. This is The Money Resolution. Thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe and all that jazz if you enjoy this one and want some more of it. But with that, let's get to reason number one why we overspend. It's special occasions. Speaking of easy to relate to, I'm sure you'll nod your head at this one. It's very easy to overspend when it comes to special occasions. Think birthdays, anniversaries, bridal showers, NFL fantasy football draft, Christmas, annual family vacations, and so on. It's good vibes, and spending also feels good. It's understandable why we do this. I've definitely fallen victim to this one as well. So the solution isn't to just not enjoy a big day. It's great to live in the moment, but don't let yourself get swept up in it. On a more practical level, plan ahead. If you're a budgeter or a once-a-year planner like me, be sure to account for these in your planning. Go month by month and brainstorm where you might be tempted to overspend because of a big event. Be honest and set a plan so you can budget it in. So for example, for me, Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, so I tend to go overboard on my costume. So I should set aside $10 a month until Halloween. Now, if possible, you should create a splurge savings account within your main account for these special occasions. Or, it's okay to just skip Dad's 60th birthday party. I'm sure he'll understand. Number two, present bias. Present bias is the ugly stepbrother to special occasion spending. Well, it's similar. I shouldn't say it's uglier. Okay, it's uglier, my opinion anyway. Essentially, this happens when we place more weight on immediate rewards than those in the future. It's why we plan a second annual vacation or an impulsive weekend away instead of contributing that extra money into our house down payment fund or our kids' college fund. It's why we eat out instead of cooking to keep our food bills down. It's prioritizing the here and now, like that big event, rather than long-term goals. This leads to common everyday overspending on a small scale, and these little purchases can really add up over time. It's the opposite of delayed gratification, if you will. If you've heard of the latte factor, it's because of present bias. We deserve that $6 Starbucks latte or to spend $15 on lunch on a workday because we work hard and we need it to get through our day. No, you don't. Plan ahead and save thousands a year by eliminating those daily impulse spends, those latte factors. Number three, hard cash versus credit. As you probably know from experience, parting with cold hard cash stings much more than paying with credit cards or plastic in general. Credit cards tilt the scale more towards the pleasure of buying rather than the pain of spending. Paying with cards instead of cash reduces the level of guilt we feel spending our hard-earned money. It hides the truth. With cash, you can simply look in your wallet and see what's left or realize what would be left over while considering a purchase. While you should check your credit card balance every few days, almost nobody does. Let me know, how often do you check your balance if you're being honest? It's easy for that debt number, if you don't check, to creep up, especially with some credit card spending actually showing up delayed, like tipping when you're in a restaurant. Now, the workaround, of course, is to spend more cash and to check your balances more often. Try a week spending cash only, or think about the cash envelope system for a month. I also turned on text alerts so I get a reminder every time I swipe my cards. This is great for security as well. Number 4 is the what the hell effect, also known as the F it effect. This is when things get so bad, think off track from goals or daily self-restraint or special occasion spending, that you simply throw in the towel. Making a mistake is one thing, but the what the hell effect makes a bad situation potentially far worse. Now, I know I shouldn't have ordered Uber Eats the last 3 nights in a row, but what the hell? Let's do it again tonight, and maybe tomorrow. It happens all the time too. Think, let's just get another round of drinks, or let's hit a 3rd or 4th store during our sales shopping spree. It could be a special occasion like a friend's birthday at the casino. You decide to live in the moment, present bias. You're able to use your credit card to get more chips when you run out, cash versus credit. And now what the hell? What's another $100 on black? Hopefully you can see how all these can actually build on one another and make overspending splurges much worse. Number 5, retail therapy. You guys, retail therapy is real. This is all about the dopamine we feel when we go shopping. Maybe you've had a long week. Your boss was rude to you. Your friends hung out without you, according to Instagram. You went through a breakup. This allows you to picture living a better life with nicer clothes, houseplants, or other things you desire. I don't know. The funny thing about the dopamine hit we feel is that it actually isn't from buying the thing. It's not that moment that you do it or right after. It's actually right before you buy the thing. By the time you buy the thing, the feeling of dopamine, that excitement, it's already wearing off. Even window shopping, by the way, or adding to cart can start to give you the feels, but those are dangerous activities that should be avoided. It's key to recognize that boredom or stress or both makes it easy to overspend because shopping is an easy distraction from your feelings. But hold off and wait until you're in a more even or even a happy mood, because that pause might be just what you need to resist. As a side tip, don't go to the grocery store on an empty stomach. Am I right? Number 6 is self-justification. This is the idea of convincing yourself and possibly others that the buying or spending choices you've made or you're going to make are justified. We have a desire to be accepted by others. Rather than simply admitting a splurge or returning an item due to buyer's remorse, people over-explain and over-justify it. That over-explanation might make sense, but that's not the same as being correct. Now, truth be told, I did this just last weekend. After years of holding off, see, I'm already doing it, I bit the bullet and invested in a new laptop. Here's how I justified it. Yes, I have a 2017 MacBook Pro that works, but the new M1 MacBooks are so much faster. Plus, I scored nearly $400 off the MSRP by shopping secondhand on Craigslist. Plus, Macs hold their value. So when the computer I really want comes out next year, I'll simply sell both machines for enough to cover the price of the brand new one that I really want. I could actually go on, and I did to my fiance, but I know I could have waited a few more months. Rather than justifying it, I need to admit what really happened. I caved and splurged. I'm human too, you guys. The key here, though, is to catch yourself when you find yourself justifying purchases. Number 7, shopping addiction. In research, I learned that roughly 6% of the population could be considered shopping addicts or compulsive buyers. This addiction is an impulse control disorder, and there's a continuum, by the way, for the severity of it. Compulsive shoppers buy things they don't need and likely can't afford, placing everything else in life in jeopardy. Think work, families, and even mental health. The binge buyers suffer from a disease akin to that of alcoholism. Now, this is a challenging one to offer solutions to, but step 1 is to recognize the problem. Reflect on it and who it hurts. Journal about it. Talk to family members or friends that you trust about it. Think about what it could lead to, and for some, that's actually been bankruptcy. And by the way, watch more videos like this one. Hopefully this helps all of you recognize areas of improvement and I don't sound too much like a stuffy dad. Number 8, making comparisons. I came across a good, simple explanation for this one. Essentially, shopping and the decision to buy is a 3-step process. First, you ask yourself, do I want to buy something? If yes, what product is best for the price? And finally, how will I buy the product? However, the comparison issue happens when you jump straight into step 2. You don't take enough time to decide, do I want to buy a thing or things? Too often, people go straight into the which to buy mindset, making them very likely to jump straight into purchase stage 2 or 3. The best example I can think of for this is a used car lot. I remember I once went to one just to explore, to look around, to learn, but 6 hours later, of course, I was driving home in my new used Honda Civic. Another common example is product comparison videos on YouTube. Admittedly, this is part of what got me into that self-justification phase of buying a new laptop recently. I watched about 20 M1 MacBook videos before it wasn't a question of if, it was a question of when I was gonna buy. I did it to myself, and my blind curiosity got me there. Again, these can all stack on one another. Number 9 is the halo effect. All right, it's time I talk a little bit about marketing because I'm a marketing guy myself, so I do have a little bit of a sense of how this works. First of all, entering into a brand's halo is dangerous. This might be as simple as following a brand you like on Instagram. Sounds innocent enough. Then you join the email list, the rewards or loyalty program, the SMS list for exclusive offers, and now they've got you. Plus, what you may not realize is brands use your purchases and browse history against you. They track your activity using cookies, and they put more of what you love in front of you more often. And it also works because you assume that if you love one thing from a brand, you're gonna love everything else from that brand. I'm actually a sucker for Costco, and I do this. I falsely assume just about everything they sell is quality. It's definitely not always correct though. Plus, when Costco has a big sale, they have a monthly by the way, they send me a flyer in the mail. The best stuff is on the front 2 pages and by the door when you walk in. Now, the halo effect gets you to falsely assume the entire sale must be that good. It's the best prices of the year, I'm sure. So again, come prepared. Know the regular recommended retail price so you don't let price anchoring sway you. Keep your emotions in check, or just hit unsubscribe from those emails and stay away from those sexy sales. 3 to go. Still with me? These last 3 are critical to know and recognize, so let's end strong. Number 10, decision fatigue. Humans have a limit when it comes to willpower. Throughout your day, you're always making decisions, essentially from the moment you wake up. And throughout the day, you experience resource depletion, which causes people to act impulsively. When you're mentally fatigued, you're more likely to be swayed by desires and cravings, even though you'll likely regret it in the long run. It's why I can never resist a bite of chocolate or sweets immediately after dinner. But if I tell myself, wait 20 minutes, I almost always forget about it. So again, taking a beat and hitting pause when you feel mentally drained is always a good idea. I also suggest you make bigger decisions before noon when possible. I make it a habit now to get up hours before work so I can work on videos, pay bills, plan my day, hit the grocery store before crowds, and so on. Remember that car I mentioned I bought? Did you catch the part where I said I was there for 6 hours? I was in the office past closing and they were bombarding me with questions for add-ons about security, clear coat, all the upgraded bells and whistles, and so on. Now looking back, I bet that was actually a tactic to keep me there longer. Number 11 is social pressure. Now, we learned in grade school us humans are extremely susceptible to social pressures. It's actually a survival instinct to be cooperative and competitive, which can lead to more spending. Let's talk about marketing again. Marketers are very clever and use social pressure against you. They remind you to buy gifts for the holidays. They run limited time sales with deals that end soon. Get it before prices go up because you won't find a better price elsewhere. And get it before we sell out and everybody else has a new TV for the big game, but you. But it's not just marketers, it's your friends and family. There's always at least one person that loves to talk about and show off their new toys and gadgets at family get-togethers. Many of us also have that one braggy friend that does the same thing. They create jealousy and an urge to buy. You start thinking, yeah, maybe we need that. Or actually, a newer, better version. I'm sure I don't need to explain this one further, but be mindful of comparison. It's the root of unhappiness. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses because they're probably in debt. There will always be another sale, so stay out of the store, unsubscribe from the halo, keep more money in your pocket. Things don't lead to happiness. Remember, that dopamine wears off quickly. Number 12 is the curse of mental accounting. I love this one, so I wanted to end with it. Now, essentially, mental accounting is where we divide our usual spending into categories mentally. Think food, clothes, transportation, housing and bills, weekend fun, and so on. Now, this can be good so you don't go crazy in any of those categories, but with mental accounting, we only look at opportunity costs within the categories where we could cut or pull back. Or maybe if one bucket's low, we use self-justification to spend a little more in a different bucket. What we don't do though is think big picture when we focus in on those categories. How about when you're light on one category, you bank the difference, save and invest it? Crazy, right? Mental accounting is why we spend bonuses or tax refunds. We think free money. That's why it's key to set a savings rate goal. And if you get off track, find ways to constantly get back on track, because those bonuses and those raises are perfect for that. With strict goals like saving 50% of my after-tax income so I can ideally retire early one day, I'm able to keep my long-term savings bucket always top of mind, making it easy to bank any savings or new money. Keep a mental account of future goals so you don't get swept up in present bias or anything else I've covered today. And that is actually an awesome place to start to end this one. Here is a summary on screen now to help you remember everything I covered so you can identify which you most resonate with. I'd love to know, which of these spoke to you today? For me, it was number 6 and 10 for sure. No doubt about it. That car and this laptop. Again, which could you work on most? Do let me know, because just picking one or two out is step one in mastering your mind and your money. Overspending issues can be prevented, but it will take some work, so I hope you do work on these slowly but surely. Best of luck, and thank you as always for your time today. I had some fun with this one because I was genuinely curious about why we overspend and what we can do about it. Like this video if you got value out of it. It lets YouTube know it's a video they should show others. Subscribe if you want to hang out more often. I do talk all things financial independence twice a week. My name is Frankie, and I hope to see you in a few days on the next one. Thanks. Don't go and make any big decisions after this. I know I sure won't. I'm feeling mentally fatigued.